What Caitlin Clark did, because so many eyeballs were on her, was she is a huge multiplier effect of that.
I see a lot of players wanting to go, in this offseason, a lot of players are going to want to go to the Fever.
Imagine this. You're at an Indiana Fever game, and the arena erupts with excitement as Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Setu Sabally step onto the court together. A lineup that feels almost too incredible to be real.
Trying to think of who potentially could be in their plans. Like, obviously Setu Sabally is a potential player who you can get via some sort of trade.
GM Amber Cox's latest interview has fans speculating about a WNBA super team. She discussed Caitlin Clark's Athlete of the Year honor, free agency, and the Fever's championship plans. Let's dive in.
I think we're obviously at this very pivotal time in the WNBA, and obviously led by the Indiana Fever. But I think all those experiences will lend themselves to hopefully doing the best job possible here.
Amber Cox shared exciting hints about the Fever's off-season plans, leaving fans buzzing. In a recent interview, the new GM revealed her bold vision for transforming the team and shaping its future.
I think the entire world was shocked during the WNBA expansion draft when Tammy Fagbenle became available, especially because when you look at last season, she played a really huge part in the Fever's success in terms of getting to that point where you all were able to make the playoffs.
Let's discuss Tammy Fagbenle. Cox's surprising decision not to protect her in the expansion draft has raised eyebrows. Letting go of such a solid contributor is rare, but here's what Cox had to say about it.
You know, it's really part of an overall plan, which hopefully everyone will see unfold throughout the offseason.
Cox's decision to not protect Tammy Fagbenle raises questions, but she teased a bigger plan for the Fever with a cryptic message about the offseason. With her successful track record, including 2 WNBA championships with the Phoenix Mercury, Cox is focused on developing a strong team identity, especially on defense. Improving defensively will shape who we become over the next year or two, she said.
So obviously we want to take the next step. So I think as we're looking to free agency, we'll think about veterans coming in with that playoff experience.
The Fever have around $650,000 in cap space this offseason, giving them the flexibility to make significant moves, including offering max contracts to key players. Cox is thinking big, aiming to bring in versatile players who can make an impact on both ends of the court.
Obviously, as we get into free agency, the number one priority for us is re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. I think that backcourt was about as lethal as we've seen in the WNBA, and I'm talking maybe in history in the second half of the season last year.
The big news? Kelsey Mitchell. Cox shut down the rumors, saying, "We want Kelsey back. She's had an incredible career here." While not official yet, the Fever confirmed they'll core Kelsey, guaranteeing her return under a max contract for the upcoming year.
So we want to reunite Caitlin and Kelsey. And Kelsey, when I think about her and her time in Indiana, and, you know, a lot of trials and tribulations throughout her career. So for me and for us, I'm most excited for her to be in this moment and experience so much success.
So, what's next for the Fever under Cox's leadership? It's shaping up to be an exciting offseason. But there's another story making waves. Caitlin Clark, the Fever's superstar point guard, just landed on the cover of Time magazine as Athlete of the Year. While it's a huge honor, not everyone is thrilled about it. Let's dive into the controversy that's taking the basketball world by storm.
Caitlin Clark was recently named Time's Athlete of the Year.
Being named Athlete of the Year should have been a moment of celebration for Caitlin Clark, but it sparked an unexpected battle as the basketball world takes sides. One voice cutting through the noise is Sheila Johnson, co-owner of the Washington Mystics, who has offered a perspective that might change how we view the situation. Clark's Time magazine cover should have been a victory for women's basketball, but instead, it has ignited a fierce debate, revealing deep divisions within the sport.
And Washington Mystics co-owner Sheila Johnson, responded to that by saying, I think the WNBA in its entirety should have been featured.
Sheila Johnson didn't hold back in criticizing Time's decision to feature Caitlin Clark alone on the cover. She argued that the entire WNBA should have been recognized instead, saying, "When you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings." Her comments struck like a thunderbolt, sending shockwaves through the basketball community.
How do you respond to those comments? And do you think the award should have been given to the entire WNBA rather than Caitlin Clark individually?
I think Caitlin Clark deserved that.
The backlash was swift. Fans, players, and analysts quickly defended Caitlin Clark, highlighting her remarkable achievements and the spotlight she's brought to women's basketball. However, others sided with Sheila Johnson, arguing that focusing too much on one player risks overshadowing the league's collective success.
Because she has so many fans, and you saw it across arenas, I mean, people are moving games because so many people wanted to see her play.
Amidst all the noise, one voice stood out: Amber Cox, the Indiana Fever's GM. Cox stepped up to defend Caitlin Clark, and her words packed a punch. She didn't stop there, emphasizing that Clark's impact goes far beyond her on-court performance.
We've never seen anything like Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar, not a female superstar. She is a superstar.
We were coming to see Caitlin Clark play.
She moves the needle. The WNBA has been looking for someone who moves the needle.
Cox highlighted Caitlin Clark's impact, saying she's a major force in the league's growth. To back it up, Cox shared a heartwarming example of the Caitlin Clark effect. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching. Let's get back to it.
Look, like, I don't take anything away from other players that brought more eyeballs. Angel, Cameron, right? Like, the identity and how much brand recognition these players now have in college absolutely helped the WNBA.
A couple shows up to a game, intrigued by Caitlin Clark, and leaves with season tickets. This is the kind of impact she's having. Cox also acknowledged rising stars like Angel Reese and Cameron Brink for their contributions to the sport. But Barnes isn't alone in his defense of Clark. Trevor Ariza, another NBA champion, has joined the conversation, backing up Barnes' take. Ariza sees something special in Clark, comparing her impact to that of legendary players. Like Larry Bird, it's not just about her skills on the court. It's about her ability to captivate audiences and bring new fans to the sport.
Caitlin specifically has such a unique skill set. She loves to run, just incredible vision. Stephanie White sat down right where you are and said, we want to run. So how much are you thinking about the fit here as you close in on free agency?
It's the most important thing, right? You've got to get the players that fit with the system Stephanie wants to have on the floor.
But also her ability to run the floor with Caitlin Clark and how their games complemented each other. When we think about, that expansion draft, what was the thought process in making her available?
The expansion draft is difficult. It's hard to lose a player. 6 is not very many when you think about protecting anybody on your roster.
It's not easy. You never like to see a player leave. Temi was obviously an incredible piece to the success last year. But again, it's the price we pay for growth. We're really excited for Golden State to come online. And certainly it was a decision we made, but a decision that wasn't in a vacuum, part of an overall strategy that hopefully everyone will see unfold throughout the offseason.